Y'all too out of shape to even box with me. Heavyweight, I know my way around the ring. Just like Shorty know her way around the storm. Making hits with Hit Boy, all he gotta do is hit record. Record-breaking news, had to show up just to fill a void. Confused, spoiled little boys, y'all better keep your poise. Leave me out of the weasel. Be cool when you see me, I'm hot at all that rap deep. The hood know you, so we don't borrow, believe in it. Locked in on the instrumental, I took back the key to this. Run me the keys, run me the bees, run me that flow back. Your top 3, I'm not number 1, how could you post that? I would've crowned the city is mine, you cannot hold that. I'm not the one to go back. Meet Joe Black. Run me the keys, run me the bees, run me that flow back. What I'm saying, your top 3, I'm not number 1, how could you post that? I would've crowned the city is mine, you cannot hold that. I'm not the one to go back. Meet Joe Black. What I'm saying, people saying what's already been said. Predictions, I don't listen, it's already in my head, no funny. Your most hungry place, I was past that in 28. Underground tapes, as my ass cap in publishing states. As we slide in the G-Ride, I've been getting criticized, it's keeping me energized. Create with a business mind, I'm from where killers reside. A wild hood, only knew goons since my childhood. Say anything in they raps cause it sound good. Don't even mean what they say, horrible outlook. Y'all ain't really about this house. Y'all was in the house with it. We don't respect fake jewelry and silly outfits. Window down, blowing out great tits. New York's J. Prince on Houston Street. I caught the bounce before my even bounced the beat. I took the hard way in it, man, it's the route for me. Run me the keys, run me the bees, run me that flow back. Your top 3, I'm not number 1, how could you post that? I would've crowned the city is mine, you cannot hold that. I'm not the one to go back. Meet Joe Black. Run me the keys, run me the bees.
We are just a couple miles east of the LAX airport, just off the 405 or the 105 at the beautiful SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in week 4. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. Start on the ground here with Nwangu. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. They'll take that 14 yards on play number 1. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon. Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him. I see an extra defensive back on the field. A little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Looking to throw. Schultz. Able to find Waller. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback? A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Jacobs going to try the middle, and he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. It's their quarterback. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders will jump on top of the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
On 2nd down, House. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Moore, the man in motion. Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And he is going to have the Chargers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that 1st down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
The Chargers have 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. They got off to the good start, but then 2 straight losses since.
And now you start to wonder about what this does for a team's morale, how it affects their psyche, because let's face it, you work all summer pointing toward that opening game, you get the win, but then you don't carry it on from there. How will they bounce back from these losses and try and get right?
On second down now, House. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll keep it on the ground. House. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves them with a 3rd down and 8.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give them a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. Herbert now.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 41.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
And he's got room. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
44 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. And with the play clock at 3, we'll get a signal and a timeout on the whistle. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On 1st and 10, Schultz. Touchdown Raiders. Davante Adams with a milestone career touchdown number 100. Joining Curtis Martin and Franco Harris at the century mark as he continues to climb the all-time list.
And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
The Charger drive about to get going.
Well, Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their 2nd drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14, Chargers, nothing.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. In motion right comes Allen. On 2nd down, House. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going. A dime look defensively for the Raiders on 3rd down.
Yeah, you're right. 2 extra DBs out there. Justin Herbert looking to pass. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he fires one that's intercepted. Jonathan Abram picks it. And the Raiders will take over possession here up at the 44. And Charles, you know, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
On 1st down, Schultz. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Colton Miller, former 1st-round pick, called for the penalty there. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Operating from the gun, Schultz. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Adams. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it's 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
To throw on 2nd down, Schultz. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead is knocked harmlessly into the turf.
On 3rd down, Schultz. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game. On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going.
And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. House. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll run on first down. House. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. They'll try the left side. House. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Calling no gain there. It brings forth a 3rd and long.
No gain on that run. And while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And he can't escape, and down he goes. Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Returnable here from the 38. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over.
Let's go now.
On first down, they'll run with Nwangu. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And that's what I like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Off the play fake. Schultz. That's caught by Waller out left side. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. To play first half, it's 14-0. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Back to throw. Schultz. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line. And that is not near enough. He'll wind up getting 4 yards yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. The kick by Carlson is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy. I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Moore, the man in motion. The slot man in motion right. On 3rd down. House. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. A beautiful fake. And he will have a first down as they're in the field goal range now at the 30. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. House. And now a fumble. The ball's out. But a Chargers player was able to fall on it, and they'll keep possession. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Herbert operating from the red zone. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Chargers going to get the football first here in this second half, and they trail as we get back underway. And the half will begin with a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And they trail here to begin the second half. What's going to be a key for them to get back in the game?
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them because we always talk about turnovers. They had 2 of them in the first half, and once you start talking about if you have 3, 4, or 5, you know it's beyond difficult to try and win a football game with that. Those have to be eliminated. If they take care of the ball, they've still got a shot.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. House. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. House, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Herbert off of play action. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football.
As they started that drive, I think they looked at the scoreboard and said, this is a manageable deficit, guys, but let's go ahead and start cutting it down right here. Instead, an interception happened, so a 2-possession game might become 3. So as we get going here in the second half, this could rapidly reach the point where there isn't enough time left for a comeback if their defense doesn't bail them out.
Throwing on 1st down. Schultz dancing to his left. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the 1st down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. 56 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Handoff right side to Wangu. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Schultz over the middle, complete. That's Adams. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
On third down, here comes Jacobs. And they will get to him at the 7 and stop him short of the first down marker. 40 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
On 4th down, here's Daniel Carlson for the Raider field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Carlson able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Still 9 remaining on 2nd down.
Slot man moves right. On 2nd and 9, Herbert.
And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Herbert. And that is incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away.
42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10.
Quick update from Levi's Stadium. And it's the Seahawks who have moved out in front in that game. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Third quarter now from SoFi Stadium. Here's a 2nd and 10. Straight ahead, here's Nwangu.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. To throw on third down. Schultz. They'll check that down to Nwangu out of the backfield. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That's going to bring up fourth down. Only a gain of 2 there.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They're going to try and throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores. But, yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And, look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
They'll find Everett there, complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. Rashawn Slater, first-round pick in 2021, guilty there. They'll keep it on the ground. House. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
On third down, House. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Fourth down for Herbert. Desperation time. And Allen's got it. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. No reason not to try it there. And they do indeed convert on fourth. Herbert setting up to throw on first down. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there. And it's second down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, Herbert. This will be caught inside the 10. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But they trim that lead down to just 2 scores. That's still a benefit to this squad.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Now they send a man in motion right. They'll try again. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. A great play there.
His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
Well, don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a 2-score game. The interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw the football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw in this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Another run now for Nwangu. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. A handoff. Jacobs running to the left.
And they'll hold him to 3 there as he takes this up to the 47.
The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? And give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football. Ticking.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4.
Now a give running left is Nwangu.
And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds.
62 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Well, that kind of hit will certainly fire up your team both on the field and on the sideline. Tackles for lost yardage, they're always welcome.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Schultz. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
And the Raiders are going to have it 1st and goal as he'll take this down to about the 3.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. I'm assuming they're keeping this football on the ground, right?
I would think so, because you're looking at the clock. That's in your favor. You look at the geography of the field, right? Where you are, that's in your favor as well. Keep it on the ground. Keep pounding. Run that clock down. You got everything working in your direction.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Davante Adams. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Raiders are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
Chargers 10.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Back to throw here, Herbert. He's going to let it fly. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Herbert. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, LA. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Chargers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. He finds his receiver left side. This is Patton.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Austin Hooper, 37 yards. And the Raiders are going to be moving to 4-0 as they extend their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Charger drive about to get going.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And they've got to feel good about this performance. I think you'd agree, matched up against the top 5 defensive unit in